Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne. This is my video coaching newsletter, and the topic of today's newsletter is going to be how to master online dating so seduction is easy and effortless. Well, I got an email. It's a success story from a guy. I've answered a few of his emails previously in video newsletters. The most recent ones were I felt a bit lost with my life, and being direct and decisive leads to inevitable seductions. And so he writes in because he's read the book 16 times. He lives in the UK. He's in London, actually. And he primarily uses Hinge and Bumble dating apps. And so he's been a good student. He also is he teaches math in London. So he's a teacher. And so teachers typically are good at learning things and then going and doing them. And so, in other words, he follows instructions. He's a good student. That's the important thing. Because a lot of times when I'm doing these video newsletters, these guys, they don't follow the instructions, or their emotions completely override their logic and reason, and they just do stupid things that lead to rejection and heartbreak. And so we're trying to avoid that. And so the purpose of these video newsletters is to give real world examples of how to apply what's in the book in the real world. And so this guy is in London having a lot of success with online dating. He sent several pictures of some of the girls he's been out with, very cute girls. And he's doing great. And so he writes in what he did and gives some numbers on his success rate and stuff. So, as I say all the time, if you think I'm totally full of shit, if you read and apply what's in the book, you're going to get way better results than you were getting on your own. And plus, if you're new here and you haven't read 3% Man, it's free to read at understandingrelationships.com. Just subscribe to the email newsletter, and it'll open up right in the free email newsletter. It'll open up right in your web browser. So let's go through his email and see what he's been doing successfully. He says, "Hi, Coach. I recently wrote to you with I felt a bit lost with my life, and being direct and decisive leads to inevitable seductions. I am having further success. I'm a 31-year-old math teaching professional in London. I'm a 16-time reader of your book." Remember, every time I have a good success story, it's always somebody, it's 10, 15, 20 times or more. That's somebody that takes it seriously. They're participating in their own rescue. They're not thumbing through it once or twice or trying to cherry pick in videos and being lazy. They take this seriously. He said, "I'm currently having a ton of success using online dating, and I'm able to date 9s and 10s from many areas of the world, the sort of women I always dreamed of. I'm writing to try and inspire others, and I still refer to your ultimate online dating profile article." So I referenced this article in the book. I mean, I wrote this article like 15 years ago. It's like the whole mindset and the philosophy behind what you put in your profile and the things you say in it to create the conditions where women reach out to you, or women read your profile and they go, "Oh, that's me. I match that." And it puts them in the mindset and the frame of mind that they're trying to get your attention and your approval, which is the exact opposite of what most guys are doing with online dating. So you should be able to set your profile up and then respond to the messages that you get. And so this guy, again, he's being a good student. He takes it seriously. He teaches for a living. So he understands the importance of repetition and following instructions, especially being a math teacher. Any of you that took calculus or trigonometry or any of physics, any of those things, where engineering, economic analysis, another one I took, where you're doing problems and sometimes you got 3 or 4 pages until you get to the solution with all the permutations and stuff and the factoring. And so you have to do things right. You have to do things in order. And that was one of the reasons why I struggled so hard with calculus, is that I kept skipping class and blowing it off and blowing off my homework. And then if you don't do today's problems, you're not going to be able to do tomorrow's. So it builds. And so somebody that teaches math, where you have to do that's complicated stuff. If you teach math for a living, it's not an easy subject. And so somebody that does that should be able to follow instructions in a book like mine and just do great. Just like most professional athletes that follow me and guys that are in sales, they can read the book a couple times and just know what to do because they're in that mentality. They have the mentality of just tell me what I need to do and I'll just do it. And then, therefore I get the same results as you. So that the one that's referenced in the book is the ultimate online dating profile. And you sometimes when you put Corey Wayne, the ultimate online dating profile, it doesn't come up. So you should put the ultimate online dating profile, understandingrelationships.com, and that usually makes it come up. Something weird would go. You think with all the AI and stuff, it'd be better at finding some of these things, but it's not there yet. A few years back, I was not getting much online, but after putting effort into my profile, now I've been getting around 100 matches a month of good quality women ages 18 to 35 across Bumble and Hinge, and converting some into dates and seductions. However, only about 10 to 20% of these matches actually convert to dates, and maybe 1 to 5 of those are good quality women with high interests that I can sleep with. I remember the quote where you ask out 100 women, you get 15 yeses, and if you apply what's in the book, typically 3 to 5 are going to sleep with you. And so he's getting the similar kind of results with the online dating. If you get the number of prospects, you do 100 approaches with women, ideally, that at least smile and make eye contact, you should get 12 to 15 dates out of that, and 3 to 5 of them are going to end up sleeping with you. That's just the numbers. It's a numbers game. So you have to be okay with rejection and women ghosting you and blowing you off, because it's going to happen. Especially if you're doing online dating, because women have all the leverage. But if you set up your profile like the article that I did many years ago that's referenced in the book, then again, it creates the conditions where the women read the profile and then they want to reach out to you to say, hey, I match what you're looking for. Instead of seeking the approval and attention of women, where most guys have the, oh, please pick me attitude. It's a complete different mindset, the ultimate online dating profile, because it's, hey, this is what I'm looking for. If you match this, hit me up. So he says, I have proof here, it's true. So I want to stress to guys, it's important to run volume. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. In other words, don't get one-itis. Don't get hung up on one chick. I mean, I just did a video newsletter earlier this week. Guy was, let me think about it. He's 40. He met a girl in college. It's like 12 years ago. Like he was in his 20s. And she had like 2 relationships. And then the one time she was single, this is before he came across my work, totally fucked it up. And then for 6 years, she was dating somebody else, and he was hoping to get another shot. He tried dating her when she just started to date the guy that she ultimately married. And even after he found out she got married recently, he's still carrying the torch for her. And so he clearly, in the last 12 years, hasn't really interacted with and talked to a lot of women. Whereas a guy like here, it's just, he follows the instructions. Again, he's a math guy. I had one of my friends that worked for one of the defense contractors and helped perfect one of our very famous missiles. He's since passed away many years, about 15 years ago he passed away. But he was the guy that, he was sitting in a bar one day feeling kind of lonely and sorry for himself. But, he's an engineer. He was working for him. It was Martin Marietta at the time. And he was thinking, how many women do I have to ask out to get a yes? And so his pickup line was, he would go up, he just started going around the bar to every single woman in the bar. Hey, would you like to have a date with me? And everybody was like, no, I wouldn't like that. No, thank you. And then like the very last girl he went to in the bar, he was like, would you like to go out on a date with me? She says, yeah, I'd like to go out on a date with you. And so it's like, it clicked. So he went out and he started dating her, and then he kept doing that. And so he started getting a lot of success. And of course she wanted him to be exclusive with her, and he's like, no, because he was kind of a dork and kind of geeky, didn't have a lot of success with the ladies up until that point. And then when he's looking at it, hey, this is just a numbers thing. I just have to ask enough girls out, and eventually somebody's going to say yes. And that was his attitude. And he was just like, I just need more data for my analysis. And so that's the benefit of math and understanding math. This is why this guy does so well with it. He knows it's just a numbers game. So he says some women will flake for no reason. It happens. Yeah, don't take that shit personally. Because what are you looking for? Hell yeah, I'd love to go out with you. Hell yeah, you're amazing. You're funny. I enjoy hanging out with you. I enjoy talking with you. You want enthusiasm. You don't want, You want somebody that's excited to spend time with you. He said you need to ask out lots of women and ideally have a practice squad. 1 is no choice, 2 is a dilemma, 3 is a proper choice. So ideally at least 3. And then you're always interviewing new practice squad members, dropping the ones that you don't like as much when somebody better comes along, and then eventually you'll meet somebody that just knocks your socks off, who feels the same way. And by then, ideally, if you've read the book, you practiced enough, it's just easy and effortless. And it flows just like my relationship started to flow when I connected all the dots in my book. So you get the same kind of success. But you got to put the time in. You got to put the numbers in. That's exactly what, just another guy out of countless others that confirmed the same things that I found that I've been teaching for 20 years. I've also found the best women I go out with tend to have usually messaged me first. Again, the ultimate online dating profile, it's like, back when I was doing that, I'd never messaged women first. And any guys that have done that, you've all had the same experience. You send a shit ton of messages, you barely get any responses. So if you set your profile up right, women will contact you to basically say, hey, I match what you're looking for. He says, so it's more proof of Corey's teachings. It's better when the woman chases the man. Yep, absolutely. If a woman is chasing you, you're not getting dumped. It's pretty simple. So why not make it easy? This is the lazy man's way to sex and relationships. Is if you're going to set your profile up, set it up so the women contact you first instead of sending thousands of fucking messages and maybe get a handful of replies. It's a better use of your time. And then you can be doing cold approaches out when you're out and about living your life. On my profile, I have professionally taken photos of me looking confident, groomed, smiling, some nice colored backgrounds, and also some sporting shots to show that I'm in shape. A shoot is around 100 pounds, this is UK money, but well worth it. So it's probably $150, $200 US. I also put in a prompt about the type of girl I'm looking for, which shows that I have some standards and women pick up on this as well. Again, this is laid out in the Ultimate Online Dating Profile. I have attached photos of my profile and some of the girls I go out with. Many girls have said they love the quality of my photos, my clear, happy smile, my athletic look, and groomed presentation. So his profile looks like he's got some bling to it. I try to keep conversations fun and playful and progress to a direct date after some initial banter and small talk. I've learned that to make a great first date as well as having chemistry, it's fundamental to make sure physical escalation happens. This is a really important part. So again, if you haven't read the book 10 to 15 times, then you don't know this stuff and you're kind of nervous or you're scared. Maybe you haven't dated a lot of girls, you're afraid to use the kiss test and then go for it. This is an important part to understand. He says, ideally, you need opportunities to sit close to or next to the girl so touching can naturally happen rather than sitting opposite in an interview style. Like I said, what I typically talk about is you're going to take them to 3 places. And, if you're doing online dating, you don't want to just say, hey, let's go to dinner, and then you're stuck spending money on an expensive dinner. You go someplace and maybe have some drinks first. Maybe, a wine bar or something like that. You have a glass of wine, maybe a little appetizer or finger food or something like that. And if that goes well and the chemistry's there and she seems to like you and you like her, then you say, hey, let's go down the street. It's a great place to have some dinner. Then you go eat dinner. And then your third activity should be something that helps facilitate physical interaction. Shooting pool, throwing darts, bowling, miniature golf, throwing axes, playing video games, like a Dave and Buster's type thing, something along those lines. Just any kind of physical activity to where it makes it easier for her to start touching you. Because when she starts doing that, then you can escalate slowly from there. The purpose of seduction, as the book says, is to get closer and closer to a woman until you ultimately end up inside of her. He says, playing activities is also such a valuable thing. It's so easy when they start touching you during the games to escalate and you bond more and eventually kissing. because she's the one that starts touching you. That's a woman's subtle signal that when she's bumping into you and touching you and she's really close to you, that's her way of saying, hey, it's okay to touch me. And then you escalate. Then you reciprocate. By having lots of choices, it's really helped me have swagger, be calm, and the women seem to pick up on this. Yeah, because you're indifferent, you're in no rush, you're taking your time, you're selective. Guys that are desperate, don't get no dates, are not like that. They're needy, they're neurotic, they can't sit still, they're in their head all the time, they act like a robot. Lastly, I use your How Men Can Have Multiple Orgasms technique to make sure I always deliver a good session of the Indoor Olympics where I can last over 45 minutes, show competence in the bedroom, and make a girl orgasm well, all without worrying if I'm going to come early. So again, that's another article and video that's referenced in the book that I did many years ago, How Men Can Have Multiple Orgasms. You know, it's like, what did Confucius say? Success depends upon prior preparation. Without said preparation, there's sure to be failure. So when you read the book, you do the practice, you put the time in your profile, you put some good pictures on it, and you go through the permutations, then things just seem to come together. Metaphorically, and things just come together, literally. So, again, this guy, he did what was necessary. He practiced the techniques. He assumed he was going to be successful. And since he assumed he was going to be successful, he spent the time with the book, put the reads in, spent the time in the profile, spent the time doing the physical exercises so he could prepare his body to have sex and to perform. And then when the opportunity came, it's like he didn't have to think about it. He didn't worry about it. And he says, once you deliver in the bedroom, something really switches and the girls get addicted to you. I have girls saying they've been thinking about it all week. Thanks so much, Corey. And for any guys reading this, if you can invest in your dating profile, it's a great source of practice and leads. So see what happens when a good student follows instructions, has a great success story. So again, these things are all referenced in the book. You got to put the time in. You got to participate in your own rescue. Nobody's going to come and fix you and save you. You got to do that yourself. So if you got a question or challenge and you want to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the coaching tab at the top of your screen on any page of my website, and book a coaching session with yours truly. If you haven't already signed up for our exclusive premium members only content, the video description is video. There are links to join on YouTube, or you can join on Spotify or our website, understandingrelationships.com. Just click the plans tab when you get there. And the good news is on our website, you can do a 7-day free trial to check out what content you get for your money. And if you choose an annual plan, you get a 25% discount at the end of the 7-day free trial for paying the whole year's premium up front. Either click the link in the video description to go to understandingrelationships.com, or just go there and then click the plans tab. Sign up for a free trial right now. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.